Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good weekend. We're going to start with the SPX picture that I have here because I kind of have my SPX done in a pretty macro style and a long-term style. So it's the end of the month, end of the week. Let's go ahead and just take a look at where we are from a big picture perspective. It's always good to keep that in mind. So uh, you remember I actually talked about this megaphone pattern that we kind of were in. We obviously started an uptrend, we broke through, and we had a false breakout. Obviously, a very long, like you could have played this breakout, but from the macro perspective, it was a false breakout. So, guys, I said it before, I'll say it again. This is, I think, where we're headed to. Um, Especially after last week's close, I think it's pretty much confirmed. We have this pretty major area of resistance that we had, and easily closed over. So to me, this is headed up for a destination, and that destination is this trend line. It is this the top of this candle. If you look at a monthly chart, that's going to be the top of your monthly candle. So it's going to be right up in this 309 to 313, 314 area, okay? And that's going to line up perfectly with our trend line. The way that we're coming into this area is pretty quick. It's pretty quick, right? And so what you're going to expect is that there's going to be resistance up here. And so there's a lot of people getting really euphoric, really bullish, and I just want to let you guys know this is going to be a really tough area to get through. I'm not saying that it's going to turn us bearish. I highly doubt that we would get long-term bearish again from this area, but it's possible. But what you should know is that there's likely to be heavy resistance right here. And so you get the 309. You can see over here we really struggled with that 309 coming up into it. We finally got over. We tested it here, and we come back and we close right on it here after testing the breakout of our trend, and we go on our way. And then back here you can see we when we break that, we gap below it. We come up, we close on it. We get one close over, but boom, we're right back, gap below, and that really is what sends us down. So this is kind of our, this is our supply area. This is where we came in and people shorted this area, right? People sold right in here. There's a first move, everybody's like, whoa, like there's a bounce. Where are we going to sell? Right here. So this is where our like really major area of supply is, and it lines up perfectly with some technical levels and technical trend. So guys, please watch this area. Don't be surprised by a sell. It's probably pretty likely that we get some sort of decent size pullback, whether that's just a 293 or whether that's lower. That's yet to be known. But remember here, we're above our major trend lines on the SPX. We're going to look at other indices. We're not above those trend lines. So you could say the SPX is okay. But again, I've seen this before, guys. If this was really bullish, listen to me here. If this was really bullish, they would have closed this month up here. But they didn't. I've seen this before. You'll get a drop. You'll get a few inside months here, and you won't close above this high. And what you're going to get is you're going to get something like this in this month, and then you're going to get a rejection. And then from there, you're either going to go sideways and bust through that, or you're going to get another drop. You're going to get another drop, whether it's down again to that 292 or it comes down to this 275. It could be more serious. That's going to have to be something that we evaluate in real time. Are we going sideways, or are we getting more serious high volume selling? I am in a bit of a rush today, so I'm just going to run through these monthly charts real quick. IWM, broken trend line. We've come back again. If we were so bullish, why didn't the IWM come and close above that trend line? Why are we below it? They had the chance. Why didn't they do it? To me, it's indicative of another market that's going to go run up, test this breakdown area, and it's going to end below this trend line. It doesn't have to. If it doesn't, then we change our view. But right now, this is a high volume breakdown on a macro picture. It's chosen not to close back above this trend line. And so for me, that's indicative of a market that's likely going to try and run up and end up rejecting this month. And from there, we'll see, right? That doesn't have to mean that we're going to huge new lows again, but it can. And so that's something we seriously need to keep an eye on. And I think it's pretty likely that that happens in all these markets. You'll see the DJT, you've got the same exact picture. This one's not even close to its broken trend line here. So this one could actually run up more. But again, you have this kind of double top neckline, came up, tapped it, and kind of backed off. Chose not to close above it. Why did it not close above? Is it just because it's the first try? Is it going to go higher? I don't really see it happening. I see us coming up here. Remember, I said for the DJT that we'd probably get a move up to this area. And that's exactly what we got here. And I just don't see a lot more upside in the short term. Again, we can get up to this 9,500 in the middle of this month. Absolutely, we can. I think there might be some more bullish upside, but I think that upside is likely going to get cut short into the middle or end of the month. And we're going to need to kind of either pull back in price, or we're going to need to correct in time and then bust through that area. Obviously, you have tech, which is a whole different beast. This is the semiconductor index, and it's interesting to me. It does look strong, but at the same time, I almost feel like this could be some selling pressure. But I still think we can probably pop through and get up to this upper area. I think it's very possible. We had this kind of consolidation period, and now we're at the top of it, kind of just basing. And so obviously, if we see this break down, that's a huge shift in the character of this index. But right now, it's looking rather bullish, staying sideways. But you can see there's some big red bars coming in here. Maybe there's some sellers. We have to keep an eye on this. But I'm leaning towards we'd probably get a pop, and then you'd see some resistance up here. You'd be at the top of your channel, and we'll go from there. But yeah, you'll probably see a pop, try to fill this gap. And likely what would happen is you're going to fizzle out up in here somewhere, and then you're going to pull back to this area, this breakout area and bottom of the trend line. So I don't really want to look too much more into it than that. I mean, our monthly chart, it's pretty, it's okay, right? It's okay. I think what you'd expect, and again, I have an example of, here's the highest closing monthly candle right here, 141.37. If this was so bullish, why wouldn't it close at a new monthly high? I mean, it's just something to think about. Not that this chart is bearish, but it's something to think about. Why wouldn't this have closed at a new monthly high? It totally could have. It was right next to it. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, why wouldn't it just close above, right? Why wouldn't it do that? So, I mean, it's really interesting to look at, and just, there's a lot of indexes that could have had very good monthly closes, and they all chose not to. So that's something that I take note of. The Qs, also bullish, can probably try to test these highs. Obviously, they're above their big monthly trend line. They're back above it, just like the SPX. And they're in this bit of a channel here. So, can it break the highs? Yeah, sure, it's bullish. I mean, we can't say it can't do that. I mean, I think you had your reversal here. This is where bears really needed to step in on this day and then push it lower below this channel. They didn't do it. Just going to take these off here. They didn't do it. So, keep an eye on it. There's no reason we can't reject these highs and end up breaking this trend and come down and test down here. It's all something that we'd have to address in real time. It isn't a channel. This is a formation that can break down, or it can just break and go sideways, which To be honest, I almost favor more. Because at this point you're back to the highs, you're above this trend. Again, I've said this many times, until the Qs get back below this trend here. All right, this is our major trend. We got back above and we're just holding, moving higher. There's nothing wrong with the Qs until we get back below that. That would also probably get us back below this breakdown candle, which could see some selling down to this area here. So, but really, until that's broken, guys, we could go sideways here and have a massive rip in tech. So keep your mind open to that possibility as well. On the short term, guys, the IWM, the DJT, and the XLF, I believe, were all lagging Thursday and Monday. They were all lagging the market. So you see SPY was up 0.45%. And then you look at the IWM and the DJT, they were, look at that, down 0.57, and you got the DJT down 0.4 and down 1.14, guys. So I'm telling you guys, I've seen this before. If you remember, if you were watching my videos back before the big drop, I was back in this area, guys. I said, hey, the DJT, the transports, they're showing relative weakness, like real relative weakness. They're actually almost starting to break down while the SPY is making new highs. I said, be very cautious. There can be a sell coming. I didn't know it was going to be like this, but I knew it could be decent. I knew it could be a decent size, and I warned everybody. And I'm warning you guys again, right here, right now. The DJT, the IWM, these are leading indicators. The last 2 days, severely lagging the market. They are not participating in this rally, guys. That's not something you want to see if you are bull. Please listen to me, guys. These market leading indicators are not participating in this rally. They do not care. They do not give a shit. And that is telling us something. That's telling us that there's a correction coming. It's not 100%. Of course, nothing's 100%, but I've seen this play out quite a few times. And if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on a correction coming within the next week or two, guys. How big? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know. Quick look at the SPY. Again, big supply zone. That's this red zone. Serious supply up, in just like we looked down the SPX 310 to 313 area. We've kind of got this channel going on here. Little channel. It's not perfect, but it's just for illustrative purposes. We kind of popped above. We're back below. If we can kind of make our way back above here, I think we shoot up to this area here, top of the channel. You get to the top of the channel, and I think you get some serious selling up there that gives you at least a decent sized pullback down to an area where there's a bit more demand for prices, and then we'll go from there. You know, maybe it's to this golden zone, maybe it's just to the bottom of the channel again, who knows. But definitely expect something from up here if we even get up there, guys. If we even get up there. You know, there are the leading indices have already been lagging for 2 days now, pretty seriously. So keep an eye if Sunday futures look bad, and the main bogey on our downside right now, guys, is going to be 302. This area 302, 301. That's really going to be our pretty big bogey here. Let me go to a different chart real quick. I know this is a little bit messy, but this is a really long-term zone, 302, and we happen to, you see, we come up to it a few times, so we break, and then they try to hold us below. They trap some bears here, and then boom, they pop us. So as long as we're above this 302, we're a-okay. And this, all the colored levels, guys, these are major levels. So you got 302, 297, and then where I think we need to pull back to, where the destination likely will be once we do finally get a correction. I think it's going to be around 295. 295, 293, 290, somewhere in this big zone is going to be a huge support zone here. You can see this was really major resistance. We came up, we really struggled to get over it, and we were fighting 297 as well. But you can see we closed, I believe this was the week. Yes, we closed the week above this zone finally. And that's what popped us up. So this is really our breakout area here where we broke out from, and we never really have come back to test it. So I think that's a great area to look for targets if you're trying to short this week or next week when we finally get some selling pressure. Great area to look for a target. Yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Hopefully this helps, and just don't get too euphoric out there, guys. It's getting crazy bullish. I'm not saying we can't go a little higher, but watch out for that sell. Leading indices are starting to lag. And yeah, have a great week trading, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.